What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to be breaking down NLE Choppa's 23 music video, going over some of the most used effects in there and just breaking them down, teaching you guys how to do them. Overall, this video just had a ton of cool VFX. Yeah, I just wanted to hop on here and share it with you guys. Just want to give you guys an update on the Shake plugin. I've been working on it and it's almost ready to drop. I'm just tweaking a few things, making sure it's all good. I know a lot of you guys were asking about that, so that is going to be dropping soon. But yeah, let's get straight into After Effects. So this is the first effect we're going to be going over, kind of like this offset effect that's going on with the rotoscope. And overall, I just think it's a super cool effect. So right here, I've literally just got the clip that follows straight after, and we're going to be using this to create the effect. First thing I'm going to go ahead and do is duplicate this layer, and we're just going to create a rotobrush of NLE Choppa. So double clicking on this, it's going to open up the layer. I'm going to grab my rotobrush tool. I'm just going to go ahead and get a good first frame. You guys really just want to make sure you get your first frame good, because this is what the AI built into After Effects is going to use to kind of get the rest of the rotoscope. So I think this is looking good enough right here. And what I'm going to do is just frame forward through the entirety of this clip and adjusting the rotoscope for where it messes up. So now that I've rotoscoped out the entire clip, I'm going to go ahead and click on freeze. Now with that frozen, I can go ahead and close out of this layer tab, and we have our roto brush. So now we're just going to go ahead to our effects and presets and grab offset. Once you have offset, you can go ahead and drag that onto your bottom layer, not your rotoscope. So here we're just going to go to the end of the clip and go ahead and keyframe that offset shift center 2 right here. And we're going to go to the beginning and we're going to make it rotate 3 times. So I'm just moving this to the left so it rotates 3 times and just lining it up right here. Now it rotates 3 times, but you see it's just kind of like a constant rotation. This is not what we want. So I'm just going to go ahead down into this clip, and we're going to go to the effects and the offset. Going to go ahead and right click and easy ease this, and that's just going to smooth it up a little bit. But what we want is for it to spin super fast at the beginning and then super slow at the end. So we can actually go ahead and highlight these and go ahead and click on this little graph right here, and this is going to open up the graph editor. And I know this kind of looks scary, but just stay with me. This is going to be the speed graph right here, and this is just stating how fast it's going. So it's going the fastest in the middle. We want the fastest part of this to actually be at the beginning and the slowest part to be at the end. What we can do is go ahead and click on these little dots, and we're going to get handles, and we want to move this so that the fastest part is at the beginning. If I go ahead and drag this to the left, you'll see that it spikes up, and basically what this is saying is it is super fast right here and super slow right here. We can go ahead and adjust this handle as well to move it back. So now looking at this, it goes super fast at the beginning and then gradually slows down at the end. Playing that back, that's exactly what we have, and I think that looks pretty cool. Now we just need to add some blur to this, so I'm going to go ahead into the effects and presets and get the directional blur and drag that onto our bottom layer. Here with the directional blur, I'm going to go ahead and make it sideways like this, keyframe it at the very end, and then going to the beginning again, I'm just going to crank it super high, and then now you can see that it starts super blurry, and then as it fades out, it kind of de-blurs. Looking at our rotoscope, you can see it's not the cleanest, so I'm going to go ahead and put you guys on some sauce. To go ahead and get our refined soft matte, we're going to go ahead and drag that onto our rotoscope clip. I'm going to go ahead and add on to the additional edge radius, and then we're going to go ahead to the smooth and crank this smooth value. But yeah, playing that back, you can see that it just kind of smoothed out our rotoscope and made it super clean. But yeah, the last step of this is actually just going to be adding a shake. And I'm just going to go ahead and use the beta version of my shake plugin on an adjustment layer. Now this is coming out soon, guys, so stay tuned. If you're watching this when it's already out, I'm going to go ahead and link it in the description below. I'm going to go ahead and keyframe this amplitude at the start. I'm going to go ahead and crank it to a super high value. Then I'm going to go ahead and tick the motion blur, go 1, 2, 3, 4 frames forward, and just set that to 0. Go like 3 frames back and set that to 0. Then I'm just going to go down into the amplitude and keyframe that to easy ease it. F9 easy ease that. And now playing those back to back, you can see I've recreated the effect pretty much exactly, and it looks super clean. Really like this effect, and I'm definitely going to be utilizing this in some of my next edits. But yeah, let's get straight into the next effect. So throughout this music video, the editor uses these kind of text pop-ups that are motion tracked, just going with the lyrics. So we're going to go ahead and show you guys how you can do that. Obviously, the first step of motion tracking these lyrics is going to be motion tracking the clip. So we're going to go ahead and click on our clip, then go to the tracker tab on the side here. I'm going to go ahead and track the camera. Here it's just going to go ahead and analyze the background. Now you can see we get all of these little track points, and you just want to find one that kind of suits your clip. I think this one's pretty good right here with the bullseye facing, so I'm going to go ahead and right click and create text and camera. And as you can see, a text is going to pop up, and playing that back, it's completely motion tracked to our clip. Now clicking on our text, we can go ahead and double click this and change it to whatever we want. I'm just going to go ahead and put meat right here. Now you guys can go ahead and adjust the size and positioning, so you can go ahead and move it around to wherever you like. You can go ahead and make it bigger, drag it around. Now we just got to animate it. So what we can actually do is just go into our text layer and go to the transform. Now at the very beginning, I'm going to go ahead and keyframe the scale. I want it to be out of frame at the beginning, so we're going to go ahead and set the scale to 0. Now going like 1, 2, 3 frames, I'm going to have it come in super big and actually bigger than we want it. So I'll have it come into like this size, and then going 1, 2, 3 frames back, I'm going to go ahead and scale it back a tiny bit. and this is just going to give it that pop in animation. I'm going to go ahead and F9 ease these and tick the motion blur. But now playing that back, you can see we have that pop in animation where it gets big and then smaller again, and it looks super cool. If you want, you can actually make this a little bit longer by dragging out the keyframes a little bit. So now it's a little bit slower, and I actually kind of like that better. So I'm going to leave it like that. And then what he did is just have them swipe off the screen. So I'm just going to go ahead and keyframe the position, and then go like 2 frames and just drag it off the screen. Now playing that back, you can see we have the exact same text animation that he did. It's kind of annoying me that the text is over NLE Choppa. So a couple of fixes you could do here. One, you could rotoscope out NLE, so that way you can put it behind him. But in my position, I'm gonna go ahead and drag a transform onto here, and I'm just gonna adjust the position so that that doesn't happen. And yeah, that's looking a lot better right there. The other thing that he did here was throw glow onto this. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw glow onto this text, and just go ahead and mess with the settings. You definitely want to increase the glow radius a little bit. I think that's looking pretty similar to what he had. It also looks like he had a drop shadow, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab a drop shadow, drag that onto our composition, and I'm just gonna go ahead and set the opacity to something like that. Yeah, that's pretty much how he did it, guys. I think it just looks super cool and not that hard to do. Let's get straight into the next effect. And the final effect we're gonna be going over is this freeze frame stretch effect, where he freeze frames on the screen and then just slides down. And I thought this was super unique. I haven't seen this done before. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and replicate that. Right here, I've just chopped the clips so that I could recreate the transition. What I'm going to go ahead and do is go to my first clip and Command D to duplicate that. I'm going to make sure it's on top of all these layers. And then on the last frame right here, I'm going to go ahead and right click, go to time, and freeze frame it. So I'm just going to go ahead and get my pen tool, and I'm just going to go ahead and mask out NLE Choppa. For tutorial's sake, I'm not going to make this super nice. If you guys are doing a video for a client or something of that sort, I definitely recommend you guys taking your time. And I'm just going to go ahead and close off my mask. Go into the mask and just increase the feather a little bit. Set it to around 8 pixels. What I'm going to do is just overlay this over our composition like this. I'm just going to make him stay for around 10 frames. So in the original, he had him completely still for the first frame, and then on the second frame, it started that wipe. We're going to go ahead and grab an effect called CC Scale Wipe and drag that onto our freeze frame. Here, we want to go ahead and set the center at the bottom and set the direction to completely down. Moving this around. If we go ahead and mess with the stretch value, you can see what it does. It just completely stretches it in whatever direction. I'm going to go ahead and set this stretch to something like 1.7. Basically, what we're going to do is just keyframe where the scale wipe is. So on the first frame, we're going to go ahead and start it at the very bottom like this and keyframe the center. And then we're just going to go over to the last frame, and we're just going to drag the center of it all the way up until he's out of frame like so. Then going down into the effects, I'm going to go to the CC Scale Wipe and ease that. Playing that, you can see that we have a similar effect, but it's not quite the same. So I'm going to go ahead into the graph editor, and in his version, he had it going slow at the beginning and fast at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and replicate that. I think that looks pretty cool right there. I actually have it going fast in the beginning and slower in the end. All I'm going to do is just grab a directional blur for my effects. Then I'm going to go ahead and keyframe the blur length in the beginning so that it's at 0. And as we go through, I'm just going to go ahead and set that blur length to something super high. Now playing that back, you can see that we've recreated that super cool freeze frame wipe effect. Yeah, that's it for me, guys. Hope you guys did find this tutorial helpful. Let me know what you guys want to see next in the comments below. I go ahead and try to read all of your guys' comments and reply to as many as I can. But yeah, I'm trying to get this shake plugin out as fast as I can. I've been working on it a lot, and I just want to make sure it's perfect. So yeah, super excited about that. If you guys want to learn how to create that super cool slow shutter effect, click right here. And definitely check out this video down here. If you guys are following me on Instagram and you joined the Discord, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.